The Nile River, a lifeline for civilization, a ribbon of life flowing through the desert. We know it as the lifeblood of Egypt, but its story begins far to the south. It begins in the highlands of Ethiopia. This is where the Blue Nile, the Nile's most powerful tributary, is born. The Blue Nile carries its precious cargo northwards. It joins with the White Nile in Sudan. Together they create the mighty river we know. Without the Blue Nile's waters, Egypt would be barren. Its civilization would not exist. Ethiopia's gift to Egypt was life itself. This gift was more than just water. It was the foundation upon which a great civilization arose. The two nations forever linked by this life-giving river. The Nile's annual floods brought more than just water. They brought fertile silt from the Ethiopian highlands. This rich soil was a gift to the Egyptian farmers. It allowed them to grow crops in abundance. Wheat, barley, and flax thrived in the fertile soil. These crops became the staples of the Egyptian diet. They fueled the growth of cities. They allowed for the development of a complex society. The Nile's bounty, originating in Ethiopia, was the engine of Egyptian civilization. It provided sustenance, it fostered innovation, it allowed Egypt to flourish. The ancient Egyptians recognized Ethiopia's importance. They called it Punt, a land shrouded in mystery and reverence. Punt was a source of riches. It was a land of gods and goddesses. One Egyptian myth tells of the goddess Isis. She traveled to Punt seeking a cure for her poisoned son, Horus. This story highlights the ancient belief in Ethiopia's healing powers. It shows a deep respect for its knowledge and wisdom. The Egyptians believed their gods originated in the south. This belief points to Ethiopia as a place of creation. It suggests a shared spiritual heritage between the two lands. The connection between Egypt and Ethiopia ran deeper than myth and trade. It extended to the very heart of Egyptian power, the pharaoh. In the 8th century BC, a dynasty of Kushite kings from Nubia, a region encompassing northern Sudan and southern Egypt, rose to power in Egypt. These rulers, often called the Black Pharaohs, unified Egypt and Nubia under their rule. They ushered in a period of peace and prosperity. They left an indelible mark on Egyptian art, architecture, and religion. Taharqa, one of the most famous Kushite pharaohs, expanded the empire and challenged Assyrian dominance. His reign marked a high point of Kushite power and influence. It demonstrated the close ties and shared destiny of the two civilizations. The Kushite pharaohs brought about a cultural revival in Egypt. They revived traditional Egyptian religious practices, they commissioned magnificent temples and pyramids, they promoted the use of hieroglyphics. The Kushites blended their own cultural traditions with those of Egypt. This fusion of cultures is evident in their art and architecture. It reflects the dynamic exchange of ideas between these two great civilizations. The Kushite period demonstrates that the flow of influence between Egypt and Ethiopia was not one-sided. It was a dynamic exchange that enriched both cultures. The Nile River was not just a conduit for water and silt. It was also a major trade route connecting Egypt and Ethiopia. Ethiopia was a land of immense riches. It was a source of gold, ivory, ebony, and exotic animals. These goods were highly prized in Egypt. Caravans laden with treasures would travel north along the Nile. They would return south with Egyptian goods like linen, papyrus, and glassware. This trade brought wealth and prosperity to both regions. It fostered cultural exchange and strengthened diplomatic ties. The relationship between Egypt and Ethiopia was not always harmonious. There were periods of conflict and rivalry. Control of the Nile and the trade it facilitated was a source of tension. The Nile River remains a powerful symbol of the enduring connection between Ethiopia and Egypt. It is a testament to the shared history and intertwined destinies of these two great civilizations. The legacy of this relationship is evident in the art, architecture, and religion of both cultures. It is a reminder that even in ancient times, geographical boundaries did not limit the exchange of ideas, beliefs, and traditions. The story of Ethiopia and Egypt is a story of interdependence. It is a story of cultural exchange. It is a story that continues to unfold today, reminding us of the interconnectedness of human civilization.